can't.
Where? Is the virus gone?
I see him.
Between right and wrong. With that
Bryce, you serious?
I love you so much.
We are monsters so other people don't.
Now listen up, son. Mary's little lamb is starting to stink. You just give us a list of what you... Listen, mate, I'm the only
Could just send you back. You all right?
You got a week. Don't let him fall asleep this time.
Miss Marshall pursued J-Lo's main Marissa.
Wanted. God, did he love made him.
You know?
Kamiko, our friend.
Fuck are your friends?
Sorry, Daphne, I'm so sorry.
That man is...
has taken a sabbatical and is brainwashing you into...
Let your intention. Toronto, so we can talk.
Vought scientist Samir, Omid Abtahi is being held hostage by Billy Butcher, Carl Urban and Joe Kessler, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who rendered him immobile by amputating one of his legs. Samir is instructed by Butcher to produce more of the virus that will infect and destroy Homelanders. Later, when an unwell Butcher goes back to the boys' headquarters, the ghost of Becker, Chantel Van Santen, visits him once again and questions him about why he severed another man's leg out of bloodlust. Becker also challenges Butcher's purpose for killing Homelander, claiming that doing so will just lead to the replacement of Homelander by another Supe who resembles him. When the scientist sees Samir again, he informs Butcher that the virus would destroy all superheroes, including Annie, Erin Moriarty, Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara, and Ryan, Cameron Crovetti, Becker's kid. Joe pushes back when Butcher realizes he would be perpetrating genocide on a worldwide scale.
Come on out, kid.
Ass sweating, broken dreams in here.
Sherlock Holmes on meth.
I don't like this. Oh, God. Okay.
Hey.
Master Knight's expect.
It. Oh, it's so good to meet. But if tonight goes well,
You guys have stables?
I don't want to be at this CPAC nightmare.
Did a little high treason.
I'm sorry, what the f... About him.
Well, apparently, he hasn't been seen since.
that's why I went to the Safdies to direct.
I love your study.
You want to see the tech cave?
Yes.
Like in my movies. There's nothing greater than a father.
Cut it off, sir.
Based on trust. But don't worry.
Butcher learns a shocking truth about his terminal disease when Joe starts conversing with Becker's device out of the blue. Hugh Sr. is remembered on the streets of New York City by Huey and Daphne, Rosemary DeWitt. Huey and Daphne carried out Hugh Sr.'s request by spreading his ashes while on a walking tour of the Manhattan, New York City, set used to shoot Maid, starring Jennifer Lopez. Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso, Annie, and Kimiko will be traveling with them. After admitting to killing his boyfriend Collins, Elliot Knight family years prior, Kimiko tries to visit Frenchie, Toma Capone in prison, but Frenchie turns her requests down. Hugh Sr. is remembered on the streets of New York City by Huey and Daphne, Rosemary DeWitt. Huey and Daphne carried out Hugh Sr.'s request by spreading his ashes while on a walking tour of the Manhattan, New York City, set used to shoot Maid, starring Jennifer Lopez. Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso, Annie, and Kimiko will be traveling with them. After admitting to killing his boyfriend Collins, Elliot Knight family years prior, Kimiko tries to visit Frenchie, Toma Capone in prison, but Frenchie turns her requests down. Valerie Curry's character Firecracker replaces Cameron Coleman, Matthew Edison as the interim anchor of the Vault News Network. Coleman, however, will not be returning because in Episode 5, he was put to death by the Seven for allegedly leaking the video data from the Seven's crime analytics division. Naturally, the information cleared 2 Starlighters accused of murdering 3 home team members. A train, Jesse T. Usher, terrified of Coleman's death, phones Mother's Milk to inform him about the Federalist Party meeting.
With Tanya, helping Joe Jeter and killed. Came to me. Chris and me likes to hear him scream.
Here. I want to play with you too.
Lid on your stupid masked face. Pain slut.
Death
Yes! If Web Weaver went
Around my wrist until you shit.
Why don't you go over here? I'm sorry for what I did to you. She saw me and I said those fucking words.
Mother's Milk divulges a train's information on Homelander's formation of a superhuman army. After taking off his mask, Black Noir 2, Nathan Mitchell drinks a bottle of sake and complains to the Deep, Chase Crawford, about not getting invited to the Federalist Society event. As he tries to save Huey from the tech cave, a train saves Mother's Milk from what appears to be a heart attack. A train smiles knowing he's used his talents for good as he sees a small child standing outside the hospital while delivering Mother's Milk. The youngster glances at the soup in awe, having witnessed a superhero in action. After rescuing Huey from the tech cave, Kimiko and Annie force Tech Knight to make financial and physical reparations by breaking into his bank account and transferring millions of dollars to charities that support social justice. Tech reveals the scheme to them, stating that he has an agreement with Homelander and Sister Sage to house their dissidents in his network of private jails around the nation. Homelander is taken aback when Firecracker confesses that she has been using lactation pills. As a result, Firecracker gives Homelander access to fresh breast milk and takes on the role of his wet nurse, a la Madeline Stillwell, Elizabeth Shue in earlier seasons of The Boys. It appears that Firecracker's role is to either prevent the soup from murdering Homelander or, at the very least, maintain Homelander under control, much like the late Stillwell did. Episode 6 of The Boys features politics again, but this time, it does so primarily in a way that fits the plot and doesn't come across as preachy. Episode 5 was largely free of politics. Thus, during Firecracker's VNN appearance, Kripke parodies a right-wing conspiracy theory. However, the real goal of the Federalist Society meeting is for Sister Sage to persuade the most influential politicians present to commit high treason and invoke the 25th Amendment in order for Vice President-elect and covert operative Victoria Newman, Claudia Dumet, to assume the presidency. It advances the Season 4 plot from a narrative perspective. In addition, Kripke subtly introduces contentious political subjects into the scenes at Tech Knight's estate. Victoria Newman is left stunned, although in a fantastical way when Senator Calhoun, David Andrews, explains to her why he supports a national ban on abortions. Once more, though, the incident succeeds from a narrative perspective because it persuades Victoria to support Sister Sage's scheme to take part in the overthrow of the government. While the majority of the gory scenes from Episode 5 were hilariously funny, flying feral sheep, what's not to love? Kripke's BDSM scenes in Tech Knight's dungeon highlight the boy's bizarre sexual perversion to the point where it surpasses the uncomfortable scene from Episode 2 of this season involving the human centipede. Of course, the reappearance of Homelander's breastfeeding obsession, one of the most strange recurring plots in the whole series, adds even more insanity to the mix. Even if the tone of The Boys Season 4 is still inconsistent from episode to episode, at least Episode 6 offered some thought-provoking insights that heighten the tension as the season approaches its finale. Notwithstanding the strangeness, Kripke is at least showcasing some excellent narrative skills by tying the Homelander plot to Victoria Newman's presidency and providing further information about Homelander's intentions to overthrow the government. Even while Dirty Business isn't the finest episode of Season 4, it is among the most inventive in terms of plot.